When I look at my lineage and all the people that were impactful to our community growing up, I never thought of myself as a person that would impact the community. My name is Laurene Ragsdale. I never got to know my grandparents. I had to hear about them from other people. My book talks about how I found out my grandmother was a midwife, but I've always heard how my grandfather was impactful to the community. She was a midwife, so she birthed 123 babies in the community. And then of course he was a school bus driver, and then they had 7 girls, 4 out of the 7 were school teachers. This is my mother's side of the family, so hence the Arnwine family. My grandmother, my mother's mother, and her firstborn, but my grandmother and grandfather are in the back seat of this car, and some cousins are in the front. I forget who they are. And then we have pictures of when their children were little, along with my 2 brothers in the front here. So the grandfather, grandmother, 7 girls. Can you imagine 7 girls in one household? And then these 2 little boys. So that was the early to mid 50s. Here's my grandmother with her father, hence the squirrel around her neck. And I always tell people she looks like she's not happy to have that squirrel around her neck. Here are just graduation, high school graduation and college, a couple of college. Yes, she's the oldest daughter, and she was the first to graduate college. All went to HBCUs. So grandfather, grandfather, grandmother, grandmother, and their 7 girls, plus they had 1 boy who passed away of appendicitis at 16. But he was also a barber at 16, can you imagine? And then these are just pictures over the years that we've collected from the 1950s and 60s, 70s, 80s, and then they come on back around, and this is like the 90s and early 2000s. We want to celebrate our grandparents. We want them to know that we love them, and they have rich things that they can teach us if they haven't already. They're a wealth of knowledge. I didn't get to know my grandparents, but through their lineage, through their children, I've been able to learn all about what my grandparents were like. But these kids here today have their grandparents, so they can learn now.